Hey everyone, I'm Andy Waddell with Forum Films. Thanks for joining me on Grade in 10. Today I am tackling the beloved, cherished, oft sought after industrial interview shot. Let's go. All right, here we are. This is the classic industrial interview shot. This was provided to us by our client. It's a pretty well shot. Looks pretty nice to me. This guy looks pretty friendly. I'm liking the eye line. I like the angle. So we're going to play with the color and see how zesty we can make this. To begin, this project was already in the standard DaVinci YRGB color space with a Rec 709 output. We're not going to flip it to the color manage, which is what I like to work in, because it'll mess up some other sequences. So let's dive in. All right, to begin, we could easily just throw a Blackmagic 6K LUT on this to quickly bring it back to kind of a great starting point. But instead, we're going to do it manually. So let's call this our fake LUT, just for clarity. And what I'm going to do is play with curves. Gotta get my braid up. So we're going to play with curves, and I'm just going to get the whites popping, get the highs up there, bring some depth to the shadows. Excuse me, I just hiccuped. And rough it in. Not going to get too particular. And I'm going to go ahead and just bump up saturation here. Okay, maybe a little much. Okay, so I just want to get this looking essentially like the LUT looked. I'm not a huge fan of using LUTs for color correction. I like to use them for style, and sparingly at that. But, the problem with the LUT is it always assumes that the shot you're feeding it was perfectly exposed, perfectly lit, perfectly color balanced, and the light was perfect and all that. And so it's making changes based on the assumption of perfection versus maybe what you're really feeding it, which when have we ever submitted a shot to a color grade that was perfect in every manner? So I typically like to just, go from scratch and dial it in like this. Otherwise, you end up undoing things sometimes. All right, let's jump in quickly with primaries. So I'm going to grab the wheel, I'm going to grab the offset, and I'm just going to pull back a little bit of that orangey red saturated tan. I just want to kill some of that. All right, let me kill it, bring it back, kill it, bring it back. It's very subtle, but just enough to kind of neutral it out a little bit. I want those whites to be just a little cooler than they were. Okay. Next, I'm going to do some additional curves work, do some contrast. I'm going to put a little bit more shadow, bring in a little more shadow in his shirt. Right in here, I don't want to crush it. I want to keep just a skosh of detail in that. Really subtle. And I'm looking back here at the shadows as well. These blacks right here. Just want to keep all those things happy. Pop just a touch more in the highlights there. I don't want this stuff to get blown out, this piece of paper, but it's kind of nice. Just a little more contrast in there. Oh gosh, I got to back up. So whenever I grade green screen, I always denoise as the next to last node before sharpening. But practical, I denoise at the top. So I need to go back and drop this in. I'm just going to give it a little bit. It's a pretty darn clean image. Just give it about 10%, and I'm going to leave spatial off for now. Okay, let's make a couple of parallel nodes. So one of the things I want to do, his skin tone, this tan wall, just a lot of tanny brown, and I just want to kind of work on isolating him from that. So I'm going to make a skin and a shirt parallel node, and I'm going to use the 3D qualifier to make some magical separation. Now we're going to immediately grab some of these pipes, which I know we don't want. Wow, that got really well. Got down in there too. So we're just going to clean them up a little bit. I'm not honestly that worried about a little bit of pipage. Oops, wrong thing. Because nobody's looking for them there, and it doesn't really bother me if we bring a little bit of face color to them in thirdly, I'm going to mask him out for the most part. Okay, so that's pretty well isolated. Let's draw a mask around him. Don't remember if he moves around a lot, but we'll just do something like that. I guess he wiggles his head some. Okay, coming back to color. Okay, I'm going to drop color compressor on this. So I want to just squeeze his skin tone down, make it a little tighter and righter. I'm just going to find a nice common tone for his skin. And then I'm just going to push the skin all toward that a little bit. So let's try that. So I'm going to compress. Yeah, it's a little, yeah, I don't like that. Okay, now I'm just going to compress the hue on his skin and the saturation a little bit. And this will tighten up his skin. Then if I flip over here to vector scope, we'll look at the skin line right there. Using the offset wheel right here, I'm just going to pull skin tone up a little bit more. Whoa, sorry. Whoa, a little too far. I'm going to pull it a little bit to the right of the line, just a hair. And this is very sensitive. Little movements matter. So let me pull off that. Solo that. All right, let's toggle this on and off. So off, on. Man, look at that. Okay, it might be a little much. I get it. Let me pull back just a touch. All right, off. He's very pale. On, he's got some blood flowing through his face. I like that. Still might be a touch much. I might just drop back sat about 2.5%. Off, on, off, on. It's definitely feeling a little zestier. All right, let's look at this shirt. Let's do the same thing. I love grabbing people's shirts, jackets, jeans, whatever. I like to grab that stuff and just bring isolation and clarity to it. Gosh, I keep grabbing that by accident. Let's see. I want to keep. Okay. I know I've got some of this. What is that? Circuit board? Yeah, circuit board back here. Not terribly worried about it. I might see if I can kill it with that. I did a pretty good job. Okay. So his jacket kind of matches this back here. I'm not going to worry about that. I mean, excuse me, his shirt, because it's just kind of all this. It's living in the same world of hue and saturation. So I'm just going to do that. Now I'm going to draw another mask. That right there. Okay, so make that wide just in case he moves his hands around a little bit, but that's pretty good. Feather it off a little bit. Okay. Desolo that. Now, what I'm going to do is, because his shirt is kind of black, if I swing sat up, it gets a touch blue. Let me leave sat there. I'm going to play for just a sec. I mean, I could literally make this shirt. Let's make it kind of nice and blue. I like this. Ooh, I like that. Oh, you know what we should do? Oh, let's do this. This will be cool. Hold on. Let me redo this. Okay, I'm going to put this node in Lab CIE color space. I talked about this on other videos. Everything behaves very differently with this color space. But what I want to do, oops, let's see if I can grab. Okay. Swings. Okay. It's about the same no matter what I do. Okay, I'm going to grab this. Bear with me. I'm going to dial this in a little bit again. I'm going to grab my mask. So because Lab sees red, yellow, green, and blue in a very different way than, particularly yellow, than typical YRGB, it's going to behave differently here when I play with it with the curve. So I want to show you this. So green and blue are the two modifiers that are going to affect color. So blue going up pushes yellow, coming down pushes blue in. The green one going up pushes red, coming down push. I clicked on it. There we go. So that pushes red, and that'll pull green. So we could literally very easily shift his shirt. Gosh, what should we do? Let's make it. Let's make it like a little bit blue. Let's put a little. Make it purple. Kind of like that. But what I love about this is it's just so crisp. It's so like direct. It's like you've just got a purple marker and you're just recoloring him. Okay, let's make it, no, let's leave the saturation where it is. And what I want to do is come back to R, which in the CIE color space is really just your brightness. So I'm just going to darken that thing down a little bit. Okay, so that's looking pretty zesty. You know what? Let's add another parallel. Let's get nuts. I might go over 10 minutes. Let's do this. Let's play with his hair. Let's see if we can just do something cool with his hair. Okay, so hair. Not really his beard and stuff. I don't know. That's all right. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up. Just want to make sure I take like his eyes. I don't want to get. I don't want to get his eyeballs. That would be really weird. There we go. Okay, now we're going to mask that. We're going to just kind of lean into his hair space up here. Okay, now let's label that hair. All right, check this out. This is going to be cool. Just darken it up. Give him like a little color work on his hair. Or we could like him a redhead. I guess. Let's see. No, it's going to get kind of weird. Okay, it gets a little weird on the sides. So I got to be careful unless I want to spend a lot of time. But if I just want to make a very quick adjustment, that right there, that's off, that's on. Now I can see it affecting some stuff back here, but I don't really care because I'm going to put a little fake neg fill on this whole side of the frame with a vignette in a minute. So I don't really care about that. Okay, let's go to the end of the node chain. I'm going to make sharpen. I'm going to pull this down just a touch, like 0.48. Tighten up the image a little bit. Let's put one node in front of that called lab. I'm going to go ahead on this, change the color space to lab CIE. Missed it. Sorry. I can't talk and click. Okay, we're going to play with that as the last step. So I'm going to come back one more nudge. I'm going to call this neg fill. And I could use the vignette tool or plugin. I'm actually just going to draw it. So I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to make a mask. I'm going to feather the shiz out of it. Make it kind of tall. And then I'm going to kind of favor like the arc of his body. I mean, from his head to his shoulder. I just kind of want to nip away at his right side. Sorry, I'm having to zoom out so far. So what I'm going to do is let this vignette just kind of shadow this part of him, right, like that. Okay, so let's go over here to curves. I'm just going to select Y. I'm just going to, got to invert it. There we go. I was like, why is it coloring my whole image? Okay, so oops, mask. Dummy. Gotta make it big enough that it goes off the frame. There we go. Okay. Now let's go back to fit. All right. So coming back to curves. Okay, it's not hitting him enough, so I'm gonna pull that over more. Just want to see when it starts to actually affect his right side, our left side. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Off, on. Look at that. That just brings out his definition, makes him feel more cinematic instantly just because it pushes your eye to his face. I'm going to do, let me rename this. All right, this episode's going long. Sorry, I'm having fun. Let's do neg fill right. I'm going to copy and paste this, and then what I'm going to come in here and do is play with this mask and do something different on the right side. So what I want to do is now I know I could just spotlight him, but then I couldn't control each side of the frame uniquely. So I really want to be able to control the way the shadow, quote unquote, shadow falls on his left side differently than his right. And so in both cases, I want it to have this kind of downward angle. Let's try that. Okay, so if I disable both of those, it's very balanced. And if I bring them in, it's just pushing my eye toward the middle. It's taking away some of this crap back here that's not important anyway. None of this stuff's important. So it's kind of bringing him out. Okay, so let's jump to lab. I'll show you what I want to do here. So when you work in the lab space, highlight shadows down here behave very differently. And what I love about this is it's very easy. It has a subtle effect kind of at the end of the chain. If I start rolling my shadows down, it just kind of pulls a little bit of, flip the waveform and show you. It's pulling that kind of low shadow redness out and just making it feel tight and a little more blue. It doesn't push blue up so much. It's just that it makes it feel cooler. All right, if I disable it, you can see the whole image has just a very, very slight hint of orange over it still. And if I toggle it on, skadoosh. Okay, it's a little too much. I admit it. Okay, right there. So let's walk through this real quick. So this is essentially just fakelet. This is the raw fakelet. Then we added primaries to just gently cool the whole image. I put a little more contrast in. Okay. Then we tapped his skin tone, just made it pop a little, and I'm probably going to pull that back just a little on saturation to 45. Okay. We gave him a little bit of some work on his hair here, darkened him up a little. And then we had a ton of fun with his shirt. I'm loving this. That's just so much fun. Then we've got our two neg fills. Boom, push your eye to the middle. Lab, just to give it a little more separation on just the even that right in here, just a little bit of a hint of red, red, just haze almost, you know. And then sharpening. I'm going to sharpen the image down maybe one more notch, 0.47. Yeah, I think we've done it. That's it. All right, fun. Thank you for joining. Please do the follows, the likes, the subscribes, ding the bells, flip the switches, all those things. And yeah, come back. Let's do another shot. This has been great. Have a nice day.